presented by the 2018 Honda Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Welcome to Toronto. We are inside Rogers Center. It is Pride Night, and we want to welcome you to Rogers Center. You can see the bunting in the WestJet flight deck, acknowledging Pride Night here at Rogers Center. Beautiful night for a ball game. It's 21 degrees. Buck Showalter's Orioles lost a tough one last night. Blue Jays scored a single run in the 10th to win it 5-4. Let's take a look at the lineup for Showalter's Orioles. Joey Rickard, top of the order. Adam Jones and Manny Machado, their shortstop. He has put up big numbers against Jay Happ. The Blue Jays started tonight. 3 career home runs and 4 RBIs for Machado. And right behind him, Danny Valencia, who homered in last night's game, has been swinging the bat very well lately. Over the last 14 games, he's hit .346, and he too has been a tough customer for Jay Happ.
Lots of right-handed batters that Jay's going to have to deal with tonight by the Baltimore Orioles. 12 starts this season for Happ. He is 7-3, 408 earned run average. This is his 13th start of the season. He's coming off a no decision. That was against the Tigers. Gave up a home run to the first batter he faced, but then gave up just 4 runs on 5 hits and 8 strikeouts in that game versus Detroit. His only game versus Baltimore this year, he threw 6 innings, had a big strikeout night. That night with 9.
First pitch to Joey Rickard is up and away for a ball, and we are underway. As we mentioned, it is 21 degrees on a near perfect night here at Rogers Center. 2-0, another fastball misses. Rickard came into the game late in last night's game as a defensive replacement in left field. He is 4 for 9 against Jay Happ. He's got a home run. There's a strike.
Looks more like your typical leadoff hitter, doesn't he? Trey Mancini's been holding that job down, but he's more of a power RBI type of guy. Rickard can run just a little bit, puts the ball in play, doesn't strike out a whole lot, can run. So Buck Showalter has put him in that leadoff spot against Jay Happ tonight.
Jay Happ, as he's done all season long, using that fastball, he is even to count at 2-2. That's a pretty good pitch. Happ didn't get the call. Boy, look at his command on the outside corner to the right-handed hitting Rickard. Adam Jones will be next.
That's the thing that you're so impressed with Jay Happ, is his ability to paint that four-seamer either inside or outside. Looks like they're going to go back outside.
Popped up on the right side, headed for the seats, and it'll be back out of play.
There was a time in his career where he couldn't throw that ball like that consistently on the outside part of the plate, down and in, or down and in, up and away. He just seemed to try to guide the ball to those spots and just couldn't get there. He had long pitch counts, long games. Now he's so much more aggressive, and I think he's more confident.
Here's the 3-2 pitch again. Fastball grounded to shortstop. Ledmus Diaz has it. Rickard's retired. Blue Jays defensively have been very good on the infield of late, and it has a lot to do with the return of that man.
Yeah, they missed him. He was on the disabled list for 24 days, missed 21 games, but he only has 4 errors this season. He has really solidified the defense for the Blue Jays on the infield. In fact, he has a higher fielding percentage this season at .969 than Francisco Lindor of Cleveland. That's how well he has played defensively for the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays were 6-15 while Diaz was out of the lineup. Here is Adam Jones. Jones was 0 for 5 last night, goes after the first pitch. Jones grounded out 3 times to Ledmus Diaz at shortstop, first 3 at bats. Then he struck out and popped out.
Some of his highest strikeout games in his career for Jay Happ has been against the Baltimore Orioles. I think you're going to see the Orioles swinging early in the count.
Again, staying away with that fastball. Jay's career high 12 strikeouts came against this Baltimore team in 2014, August 7th of 2014.
9 strikeouts, like I said, in his only game against Baltimore this season. That came in 6 innings against the Orioles, and they're stacked with right-handed power. Looks like he's trying to stay away from that power early in the game.
Going away again. Jay has really improved in his ability to rack up the strikeouts. You see where he ranks in the American League, strikeouts per 9 innings.
All of those pitchers ahead of him have the great arm, but they have great secondary pitches. Breaking ball and a changeup from Sale. Charlie Morton's got the big curveball. Trevor Bauer's got the splitter and the curveball. Jay does it with good fastball command.
Kevin Pillar backs up a few steps. He makes the catch in front of the 400-foot sign in dead center. 2 up, 2 down for Happ.
And I think that fastball usage, if you combine the four-seamer at 51% and his sinker, he'll turn his fastball over. You're up to 72%. So he likes to use the fastball, mix in a slider every now and then, and a changeup and a curveball. But he's aggressive. I think he knows what he wants to do. He has the ability to go inside against right-handed batters if he wants to. So far in this game, he's stayed away from that power spot.
Here is Manny Machado. He's 8 for 31 against Happ with 3 home runs. Staying away again. Fastball on the outer half. Machado last night 1 for 4. He had a sacrifice fly, drove in the first run for Baltimore. Popped him up. Center field, no problem for Kevin Pillar. Happ off to a good start. Jay Happ's making his 13th start of the season, looking for his 100th career win. The DH tonight. He'll lead things off for John Gibbons' Blue Jays. Let's take a look at the rest of the lineup. Granderson right at the top of the order, hit his 46th career leadoff home run last night. He's put up good numbers against the Orioles this year. He's 5 for 15 with a pair of home runs. And down in the 7th spot, how about Randall Grichuk? Since coming off the DL, he's 5 for 16, including his first 3-hit effort for the Blue Jays in last night's game.
A big game in last night's game, especially that 2-run double to right field. They will face Andrew Cashner, making his 13th start of the season. This is also his 2nd start of the season versus Blue Jays and 4th in his career. He has faced the Blue Jays with a career ERA of 1.90, and that's a theme against the American League East. He's been great. 15 starts in American League East. Check it out. A 281 earned run average against the East. Big right-hander's got that good fastball, good overhand curveball.
Fastball ripped into center field. Jones will play it on a hop. Curtis Granderson gets the leadoff single. The outfield for Baltimore plays shallow, but it wasn't shallow enough to take a hit away from Granderson. It's Rickard Jones and Gentry in the outfield, and they've got a rookie behind the plate who's having quite a week.
Yeah, he's been pretty impressive. This is Austin Wynns, made his major league debut on June the 5th. Got his first big league hit, a single in his first major league at bat. Hit his first home run yesterday, and he threw out his first base runner trying to steal in yesterday's game. He was rated by Baseball America as the best defensive catcher in the Orioles system in 2016 and 17. Looked pretty good yesterday.
Inside to Solarte. And Everest Solarte batting .246 for the season. 12 homers. He leads the Blue Jays in home runs. Ground ball. Mancini steps on the bag, and now Granderson's in a rundown. And Trey Mancini will put the tag on Curtis. That is a tough ball to get out of a double play on, because Mancini stepped on the bag right away, and Solarte was retired, and then they got Granderson in the rundown.
That took the force out, and Granderson heads up. And really nothing you could do about that. You caught no man's land like that. Trey Mancini did a good job. As a first baseman, you have a decision. Should I go to second, or should I step on the bag? He does the right thing because he's so close. Steps on the bag and then finishes it off by tagging out Curtis.
Mancini making just his 8th start of the season at first base. Teoscar Hernandez goes after the first pitch, and it's a lazy fly ball to right. Andrew Cashner needs just 5 pitches to retire the side in order in the bottom of the first.
Center in the second inning. So what does Pride Night mean beyond this hat given away to the fans? Well, peel back a layer and look at one of the hires baseball has recently made, bringing in Billy Beane as an ambassador for inclusion and to pass along what is acceptable workplace behavior. The workplace being every facet of Major League Baseball. Well, Beane played 6 years in the big leagues, and in his words, he lived a double life as a gay man. He said the self-imposed stress he put on himself as a result of it was insurmountable. Then there were the lies, being aloof, the rest. Now today, and Beane, the ambassador, believes the culture is getting better in the game, but it's not perfect, and the world isn't perfect. Beane's point is also this: there is a prevailing thought through big league clubhouses that it is quite possible that a teammate may be gay. But Beane says what has to happen next is that player be ready to talk about it and it not be a big deal for anyone. Buck?
Yeah, and obviously it's a very important subject, and Billy Beane started his career in 1987, and times are much different than they were in 1987, so good on Billy Beane to be ahead of this initiative. Danny Valencia, he hit the first of back-to-back home runs for the Orioles in the 8th inning. He and Mark Trumbo went back-to-back off John Axford.
That looked like it was going to be enough for the Orioles. Those add-on runs late, but the Blue Jays did something they hadn't done all season long. Win a game when trailing after 8 innings. They were 0-33 heading into last night's ball game when trailing after 8. 3 big runs in the 8th, in the 9th, and 1 in the 10th. It's a big win for John Gibbons and the Blue Jays.
Boy, no question about it. It was a big win. It looked like they were going to take another loss, but they turned it around. Ledmus Diaz with his second career walk-off base hit. 3-0 to Danny Valencia. Got to be careful here. Valencia is a free swinger. He takes his strike down and away. Well, Happ continues to work away early in this game. It's the same pattern he had last time out against the Tigers.
Well, just keep an eye on these right-handed batters. Okay, I'm watching their front hip to see if they're anticipating that ball on the inner half and they're starting to open up and try and pull the ball to left field for a home run. You caught the Detroit Tigers trying to do that, especially after Jeimer Candelario homered the first batter against Happ in that last game. I'm going to watch them, see if they're going to try and open up and try and spin on that inside fastball. Jay's staying away from him.
Happ walks Valencia to lead off the top half of the second inning. Here's Jonathan Scope. Scope last night Was walked twice, once intensely, finished up 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. Again, another pitch away. It's interesting how the Blue Jays have set up their defense. With the shortstop, Aledmus Diaz, he is playing in the hole, anticipating Scope to pull the ball. But Happ continues to pitch him away. That's kind of curious how the defense is set up counter to the way Happ is pitching.
There's an inside pitch right there. As a hitter, you can look out there at times, not all the time, at times, and you can see where the defense is playing you and have a pretty good idea of what they're going to do to you. If the shortstop, especially the shortstop, is playing the pull like that, as a hitter, you got to figure they're going to try and pound me inside.
There's that cutter inside, it missed. 2-1 now.
You can also keep an eye on the center fielder, and if they're shading you away, it means that maybe they're going to stay away from him. Pilar is actually shading Scope the other way. Corner outfielders are pretty much straight up.
Two and two now. Happ had a great start against the Orioles back in Baltimore in April. When he left, it was a 2-1 game. He and Dylan Bundy were matched up, throwing zeros up all night long. Blue Jays would eventually win that one 7-1. It was Happ's second win of the season in his third start. 2-2 to Scope. Bounced in the dirt. I mentioned this is the 13th start for Jay Happ. He's looking for his 100th career win. Mark Trumbo homered in the 8th inning last night. He had a line drive just over the top of the fence in left. 3-2. Valencia at first. Not running. Fly ball into center. Pilar's got room. Valencia's headed back to tag at first, and he'll stay right there. Jay Happ is the best starter for the Blue Jays this season. You look at what he's done over his last 4 starts, Pat. He's been really, really good.
Yeah, at Detroit, at Philly, versus the Los Angeles Angels, and at the New York Mets. Those are his last 4 starts. 3 of them on the road, and he's been outstanding. 3 of those 4 games, he's had 8 or more strikeouts in 3 of those 4 games. And what's interesting about it, we talk about his fastball usage, how many fastballs he throws. If you can command the fastball, and that's always the best, strike one. Fastball command, strike one. When you do that, you can pitch with just a fastball. A well-placed fastball, down and away or up and away, wherever. You don't need any trick pitches, any splitters and hard curveballs or anything like that. Just spot your fastball.
He gets ahead of Mark Trumbo. Trumbo's had his problems facing Jay Happ. He's just 1 for 19. And he's a powerful right-handed hitter. And the numbers, he has a double. That's the only hit he has. 7 strikeouts. He was just reaching for that pitch up and away, and there's a perfect example of a well-placed fastball.
Well placed, and now he's ahead 1-2. He has had his way with Mark Trumbo because he's gotten ahead. Then he elevates that fastball. Trumbo's had problems catching up to that high fastball against Jay Happ. He's had 7 strikeouts in those 19 at-bats. It looks like they want to go back up there again.
1-2. He went after it. That's the book on Trumbo. Elevate that fastball.
With 2 strikes. He got an elevated fastball yesterday and was able to stay on top of it. Hit a screamer out of here to left field. That was against John Axford. John didn't get the ball up high enough.
Another 1-2 pitch. Russell Martin wanted that pitch. Fastball down and away to Trumbo.
Well, you know what? You can't throw it any better than that. That's exactly where you want to throw that 1-2 pitch. It looked like he cut the ball just a little bit.
And check in on Valencia just to let him know, hey, we're paying attention to you over there. Danny doesn't have a stolen base this year.
There's a lot of players in this lineup who don't even have an attempt. Six of the 9 don't even have a stolen base attempt this season.
Off the plate, another full count. Jonathan Scope flying out to center on a 3-2 pitch. Trey Mancini waits on deck. Jumbo has struck out 29 times. Inside off the plate. 2 walks this inning for Happ. First and second, 1 out. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Coors Light, official beer of Major League Baseball. No score, top of the second inning. Baltimore with runners at first and second. Trey Mancini hit leadoff in last night's game and had a leadoff double and scored the first run of the game. And then he struck out his next 3 at bats.
Jay was a little wild like this, if you will, against Detroit. He had the 8 strikeouts, had a couple of walks in 5 innings, but it took him 106 pitches to get through those 5 innings.
Ground ball. This could be 2. Diaz to second for 1. Back to first. Smoke can't come up with it, and the Orioles are going to score a run. Danny Valencia comes in to score the first run of the ball game. Travis's throw was low at first, and Smoke, who is so good at digging the balls out of the dirt, couldn't come up with it. And the Orioles are on the board.
That's going to be Devin Travis's first error of the season. Taylor made double play. He had plenty of time. He just couldn't get enough on the throw and get it in the air to Smoke. Diaz, good feed. The ball stays down on Smoke, and the Orioles are going to get the first run of the ball game.
It's a fielder's choice and an error on the second baseman Travis that allows Valencia to come in to score. 1-0 Baltimore. Here is Austin Wynns. Wynns making his 3rd big league start tonight. He just had a big week. Got his first big league hit in New York against the Mets. Hit his first big league home run last night in the 7th inning off Tyler Clippard.
He got that first big league hit in his first big league at bat. Devin Travis trying to turn that double play and blow a bubble at the same time. Shades of Adam Jones, the center fielder, just couldn't get the ball all the way over there. His first error of the season.
This is his 29th start at second base. There's a strike. It's 2 balls and a strike on the Orioles catcher. Wynns is 27 years old. He was drafted out of Fresno State in California by the Orioles. Orioles have a run, but they have not gotten a hit yet. A couple of walks this inning. The leadoff walk comes around to score. Andrew Kashner has staked to an early lead. There's that inside fastball. He finds the inside corner. Wynns is called out on strikes. That ends the inning, but the Orioles take advantage of an error by Devin Travis and take a 1-0 lead. Smoke will lead things off for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the second, and Smoke has really started to figure things out. You look at his on-base percentage over the last 5 years, it just steadily improves year after year.
You know, one of the reasons for me, I think he's gotten better as a hitter, as a veteran. But for me, it's about playing time. And over the last few years, Justin's been getting more consistent playing time. When you do that, you get into a nice little rhythm. You get into a nice little routine. You have confidence. It goes soaring. And he has been that type of player. He's really come into his own over the last couple of seasons.
This is his 4th year with the Blue Jays. And last year, of course, he had a career season, 38 homers and 90 RBIs. Goes after the first pitch. That's a fair ball. Mancini will wave off the pitcher and step on the bag. 1 pitch, 1 out. Andrew Cashner threw just 5 pitches in the first inning.
Well, he's a strike thrower. He'll come right after you. His record doesn't indicate that. He's had a tough go around in his first season with the Baltimore Orioles. But he likes what he sees in the American League East. That 281 earned run average I was talking about last inning is the lowest against any division for his career. 281 in 15 starts against the American League East.
Yeah, we always talk about the adjustment pitchers have to make when they come into the American League East. But Cashner has handled it very well. His record for the season is 2-7. His ERA over 5 coming into this game. He's now 31 years old. Little cutter on the outside edge. Ball and a strike to Pilar. He had the game tying hit in the bottom of the 9th last night. Made it 3-3.
Beauty of that base hit is how he stayed in the middle of the field. Wasn't pulling off or anything like that. Stay right in the middle of the field. That's how you become a really good clutch hitter, by using the whole field.
Good changeup. Cashner keeping the ball away from Pilar. Andrew Cashner was a first-round pick of the Cubs. 2008. He started out with the Cubs pitching in relief. He's made the transition and he strikes out Pilar. That's his first strikeout of the ball game.
Been traded for some pretty good players. Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo being one of them. There's the changeup down and away. Cashner's got all 4 of the pitches that you need. Changeup, curveball, fastball, slider. Predominantly fastball, slider type of pitcher, but he'll mix them all in.
Cashner was drafted 4 times. Once out of high school and twice out of junior college in Texas. And then he pitched 1 year at TCU. That's where the Cubs made him a first-round pick. Playing Russell Martin to pull it on the ground. They have 3 defenders on the left side of the infield. Three and 0 to Russell Martin. Cashner has given up 11 home runs this season. High deep drop. Get up, ball. Get up. Make it 12.
The Baltimore Orioles as a team, their starters, they'll give up their share of home runs themselves. I love what John Gibbons is doing for Russell Martin. He knows that eventually he's going to hit. It's 3-0, and he's got to give his veteran a chance to get a cookie. And he does. 3-0 fastball right there. And Russell didn't miss it. A little bit on the inside part of the plate. Most home runs allowed by team starters this season, only the Rangers and Reds have given up more home runs than the Baltimore Orioles starters. So you have to turn them loose.
The second home run Russell's hit this year on a 3-0 pitch. And his first home run since May 10th. It's been a long drought, almost a month. But it's a big home run, and it ties it.
You are looking for a pitch on the inner half. You're guessing fastball 3-0. It's almost like Cashner said, okay, I got to get one in there to get back into this count, and Russell was waiting for him.
Mentioned Cashner, that's the 12th home run he has surrendered. Now he's given up at least one home run in 9 of his 13 starts. Randall Grichuk with a big night last night. His first 3-hit game as a Blue Jay. Bouncing ball. Valencia with a nice grab. Throw is offline a bit, but Mancini comes off the bag, puts the tag on Grichuk. But Russell Martin, a 2-out, 3-0 pitch, and he hammers it over the fence in left. Home run number 6 for Martin, and it's a 1-1 tie.
Go all in with Russ Martin and the Blue Jays on the field at Rogers Center. Limited spaces for the 55 Poker Classic still available. jayscare.com/poker to sign up and secure your spot.
That's a great opportunity to have a good night playing cards, and Russell Martin to be here, and some of his teammates, I'm sure, and it's for a great cause, the Jays Care Foundation. Craig Gentry, the right fielder, he's hitting 9th tonight. He hit 8th in the lineup last night. Gentry was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts.
Infield expecting him maybe to push a bunt. There is Justin Smoke on the right side. Kevin Travis had been playing in to take away that push bunt. Gentry swinging away.
Fly ball into shallow center. Travis going out. Pilar coming in, and they can't make a play. It looked like Pilar got a glove on it. Travis never gave an inch as Pilar was coming in, and that's the center fielder's ball. He has the priority to make that play. And Travis went a long way out there in the center, and they collided, and the ball falls safely into center.
Bumped out of Pilar's glove. He's got the fly ball priority. You can see where the ball is. He's going to get to this. Calls him off at the last second. I don't think he heard him. Tries to peel out of the way, and just that little bit of confusion right there lets the ball drop in, and now Jay's got to pitch out of a leadoff base runner.
It has scored a base hit for Gentry, and now Joey Rickard bumps at it and bunts it foul. Yeah, you can see Happ, he makes a good pitch, gets a routine fly ball into shallow center, and it drops for a base hit. Travis heard Pilar, but right at the last minute, and by the time he pulled out, he was too close to Kevin, and Kevin kind of felt the presence of the second baseman.
If they want to do something, the Orioles, and they don't, they usually just sit back and just try to slug. Let's look at it one more time. You can see Travis there. He's calling it, but it's the priority of Pilar. He calls him off, and just that little bit of confusion right there can disrupt your concentration. The ball drops in. But just the Orioles, they like to sit back and slug. This is a good combination if they want to hit and run, I think.
This is their best combination because Gentry at first runs real well. He has 8 stolen bases, and Rickard has a big hole on the right side to shoot for.
And he can hit the ball to right field. We've seen him do that in the past. If Buck Showalter chooses to be aggressive on the base paths.
There they go. Martin's throw, a strong one, and not in time. Stolen base number 9 for Craig Gentry. Rickard didn't offer at it. Looked like it might have been a straight steal.
He is their best base stealer. He's only been thrown out 2 times this season. That's his 9th stolen base. Happ's pretty quick to the plate. And it's a good pitch to throw on. It's right there, but Gentry outruns the baseball.
Russell has made some good throws over the last few games, and he's done a nice job of getting the ball down there quickly. So you got to look for the bunt in this situation, in my mind.
Smoke is anticipating a push bunt.
Rickard not showing bunt. It's now 3-1. That's only the 3rd stolen base against Jay Happ this season. Base runners are 3 for 4 against Happ. But you're right, Jay does a good job of unloading the ball quickly.
Yeah, he doesn't have a, quote, great move over to first base, but he makes up for that by holding the ball a little bit longer at times and then getting rid of the ball when he goes to home plate very quickly. He gave a good pitch for Russell to throw on too. It's just Gentry got a good jump and outran the baseball.
3-2, fouled back out of play. Well, Happ has had an unusual beginning to this start. He's had a lot of 3-2 counts. His pitch count is already up to 48. No outs here in the 3rd.
That's unlike him. He'll get you to 100 pitches, but it'll get you into the 6th, 7th, 8th inning.
It's way outside, and Rickard fouls it off to stay alive. In his last start, he threw just 60% strikes. That was against the Tigers. And that's not a bad ratio, but it's certainly not as good as Happ has been this year.
He's had some big strikeout games. He's had a couple of double-digit strikeout games at the Mets and versus Boston, all while throwing under 100 pitches.
Popped in the air. Russell Martin's got room. The catcher is there. He makes the catch. Rickard is retired after a lengthy at bat. That's the first out of the inning. So now Happ at an even 50 pitches, and he wants to change signs. You see that sign from Happ. Roll it over. Give me a different set of signs here. And now Martin will give him the indicator there. So they have switched signs with the runner at second, Gentry.
That's how you save some of those mound visits right there. Pitcher just tell him, hey, just roll over. And Russell was going through the signs. I think that was more for the second baseman and the shortstop to let them know that they are changing up the signs now with the runner at second base.
One out, Adam Jones. He went after the first pitch his first time up. He goes after the first pitch here, and it's a high fly ball. Not deep. Hernandez makes the catch. Jones is retired on one pitch. So now Happ is an out away from stranding a runner in scoring position.
Baltimore Orioles have sacrificed 4 times all season long. They're struggling to score runs. They really are. That's why I was surprised that Rickard didn't try to sacrifice Gentry to third base. He would have scored right there on that fly ball. It'd be 2-1 right now for the Orioles. But they choose to play for the big inning, and they might come up empty.
Well, the Orioles have sacrificed 4 times. The Blue Jays have sacrificed once.
It's a lost art.
Yeah, and you know, it's not an art. It's just practice. Machado goes after the first pitch. Solarte swipes at the base runner, throws to first, and Machado is retired. Nice job by Happ. He pitches around that leadoff single that should have been a fly ball out.
Delivering all new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball available now. RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. We learned after the win last night, Jaime Garcia was dealing with a blister on his index finger, crept up in the third inning. Luke Malia's catcher didn't even know about it. Garcia's dealt with the blister issues before. They've since drained that blister, and Jaime is expected to make his next start. Buck.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but that's what they will do. They will pop that blister, get the fluid out of it, and hope it dries up enough for him to make his next start. Aledmys Diaz last night, he was 0 for 10 when he doubled in the ninth inning. And a big double, came around to score the third run of the night for the Blue Jays, and right behind him Randall Grichuk would eventually score the tying run. And then he had the game-winning hit in the bottom of the 10th. A 2-out single to left.
His second career walk-off hit. He had one against San Diego back in 2016. And he said, boy, that Castro was throwing hard. His fastball was moving all over the place, and he was lucky he got a breaking ball that hung on the middle part of the plate. And he knew what to do with it. Castro's got a good arm.
Got a very good arm. He's just 23 years old. He's trying to command his pitches more consistently, and he hopes to get back into the starting rotation. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the leadoff hitter here in the third. Base hit to left field. Diaz, that's his third straight hit.
What an addition for the Blue Jays. Defensively, talked about him already tonight, and now offensively, he's got some sting in that bat. Turns on that inside pitch. That's a nice little simple swing. A few seasons ago, he had a big home run total when he was with the Cardinals. Don't know if he's that player, but he's a pretty decent hitter.
17 home runs as a rookie with St. Louis. He's got 6 home runs so far. Devin Travis takes one up and in for ball 1. Well, here's a good combination for the Blue Jays. They can play hit and run here. Travis hitting under 200 for the season. He is 20 for 102.
If they do that, that gives a hitter like Devin Travis that ability. Hey, just watch the ball. Just keep your eye on the ball. Cashner throws a lot of strikes.
There he goes. Swing and a miss. Pitch way outside, and Diaz is a sitting duck down at second. That pitch was off the plate outside, and Austin Wynns makes another strong throw to second.
They elect to play hit and run, and as a hitter, you're just trying to make a piece, get a piece of this ball. That's just a tough ball to try and hit. It's a slider off the plate. I think the Orioles had an idea that the Blue Jays were going to try and do something like that. That was almost like a pitch out.
There's a base hit up the middle for Travis. That ball was off the plate inside. He may have gotten jammed a bit, but he drives it into center.
Yeah, if you had a crystal ball, you could say I should have waited one more pitch. There's the pitch on the inner half, and Devin fights it off and muscles this ball into the outfield.
You see that ball is off the plate inside. He got jammed a bit, but still gets enough of it to drive it up the middle. That's the second hit of the inning, but there's one out as Diaz was caught stealing on the failed hit and run attempt. Back to the top of the order, Curtis Granderson had a base hit to center field his first time up. Granderson now 5 for 15 against Andrew Cashner.
There goes the shift. Manny Valencia in for one pitch, and now he's going to plug up that hole on the right side of the infield.
Granderson shows bunt, and Cashner bounced it about 5 feet in front of home plate. He was so surprised by Granderson squaring around, and he just spiked the curveball right in the dirt.
I love it. I was sitting here when I watched Valencia go over there. He's got the whole left side of the infield. That's a gimme. And fortunately for the Orioles, that ball was spiked in front of home plate. Good blocked by Wynn. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a lot of room down there, and it doesn't have to be a perfect bunt. Just square around and bunt it up the line. Trying it again. Bunts it right out in front of home. Wynn throws to second, and they'll get the lead runner. So Granderson bunted it right in front of the catcher. Wynn's has got a strong arm, and he made a good throw to second to get Travis.
I've been impressed with the young kid behind the plate. Caleb Joseph is down in the minor leagues. He was the right-handed version of their catching duo. But watch him jump out of here quickly, jump on it, and make the decision right away. He's going to take it with the bare hand and try and get that lead runner. Nice play on the other end by Scope, but an aggressive play by Austin Wynns behind the plate.
So 2 outs and a man at first for Yannervis Solarte. Solarte is back at third base tonight. Still no Josh Donaldson. He's still on the disabled list. Solarte and Cashner were teammates with the Padres. Broken bat right to the first baseman. Solarte is out. Couple of hits in the inning, but they get a runner thrown out and can't get the bunt down.
Left field, and it has been a solid defensive display from Hernandez since moving over there. For Teoscar, the biggest adjustment from one corner outfield position to the other is reading line drives off the bat. He says everything comes quicker there in left. So if you watch him before a pitch, it's by design that Hernandez is committed to staying low, attempting to identify where the pitch is, and then trying to read contact.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about third base being the hot corner. Well, left field is the hot corner of the outfield, and the balls come out there quickly with a lot of different spin, and it's dramatically different, Pat, from playing right field, moving to left field.
Yeah, I always felt left field was a little bit easier to play than right field. The ball from a left-hander will, everything, if you tell yourself everything's going to slice to the line. Lefties are going to slice the ball to the line. Righties are going to pull the ball and hook the ball to the line. So just be wary of that. Everything else, you can handle that. It's an easier throw to third base. It's an easier throw to home plate from left field. And Teoscar, for me, the little time that we have watched him play, looks a little bit more comfortable in left field.
I agree with you 100%. I think he is much more relaxed in left field, and Valencia chases that high fastball. Going to be interesting to see now with Martin and Happ how often they use that fastball inside. First time through the order, they didn't use it much. They stayed away from these right-handed hitters. But Happ's ahead 0-2. Let that one get out over the plate a little bit.
Yeah, they wanted to elevate once again, and it stayed over the plate. I think you have to show hitters inside. You have to show them. You can't constantly pound away. You have to show them, even if it's off the plate. This one's coming inside. Just to put that in the mind of those hitters.
Yeah. One ball, two strikes. Martin. Wheels are spinning behind home plate as he tries to retire Danny Valencia. Going in. Broken bat. Two hopper to third. Solarte to smoke. What a wave.
The diverse Civic family, our most powerful lineup yet. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
One of the most beautiful cities in North America. We are right next door to the CN Tower. A gorgeous Friday evening here. 21 degrees at the start of play. And not a breath of wind. It's beautiful. High fly ball to left. Hernandez moving to his right, waits on it, and Scopes retired.
Look, last thought about pitching inside, where you have to show the ball inside to right-handers. If you're Danny Valencia now, you're going back to the bench and you're like, okay, my next at bat, he's throwing the ball inside, and he's thinking, okay, maybe in the 6th or 7th inning, he might start looking for the ball in there now because he showed him that he threw the ball in there. That's when Jay can cross him up and go back outside.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of being a successful starting pitcher, because you have to be able to make adjustments in game. Change your patterns. Here's Mark Trumbo. Trumbo goes after that first pitch. Trumbo drew a walk in the second inning. Happ walked 2 in that second inning. The first of those 2 walks came in to score. It's a 1-1 game.
Stay up. Stay up. Keep the fastball above the hands.
Why is that pitch hard to hit?
Well, it looks so inviting to a hitter, and it looked like you could hit it 9 miles. Now they're making them reach for the ball, but it looks like you can hit it 9 miles, but it's a hard ball to stay on top. Your swing plane has to stay up above the baseball when you finish your swing. A lot of hitters go up there to try and hit it, and they cut their swing off. They end up popping it up or fouling it back. He's trying to change up on Russell. Wanted high fastball.
Yeah,
there.
he called for a high fastball, then he called for a cutter inside, and he shook him off. Back door. And he bounced it. Tried to guide it to that outside corner and turn it loose.
Yeah. That's a great description of it, trying to guide it. It looked like he short-armed it just a little bit.
2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th. Jay Happ makes the nice play on the comebacker, and Trumbo's retired. 3 up, 3 down. Happ has retired 6 in a row. And you see what he has done. He leads the Blue Jays in slugging percentage. It's over 500. He's done a nice job getting extra base hits. He has 14 doubles, 4 triples, and 9 home runs.
27 of his 47 hits this year have gone for extra bases, and Blue Jays always knew that the power was inside there. He just had to bring it out. He's made a few adjustments at the plate with his swing, and he's got that natural power. Not a real big guy, but he's got electric quickness when he accelerates through the baseball. Last night's extra base hit, he earned it with his legs.
Gets underneath that breaking ball and pops it out of play. Okay, so he's not a big guy. He's certainly not Judge. He's not Stanton. He's not Trumbo. How does he generate so much power?
He's got strong hands. Whenever you shake his hands, he's got very strong hands. And that allows him to control that baseball bat where he can buggy whip it through. He's very quick, electric quick through the strike zone with that swing. That's how that ball really jumps off of his bats. He's hit some of the longest home runs by the Blue Jays this season. I asked him about that hit last night. I said, were you thinking double as soon as it was hit? And he said, yes. I said, why? He said, I noticed where the outfielders were playing and where I hit the ball. He says, I knew I could get there, and I had to get into scoring position for his team.
Well, it's a very good gamble at that point. I mean, you start the inning off in a tie game, and your leadoff man, you hit a ball in the gap, you've got to force them to throw you out. I don't care if you're out or not, but you've got to take that gamble. You're playing at home. He went after that breaking ball and he strikes out. That's the second strikeout of the ball game for Andrew Cashner.
Cashner has a good breaking ball. He struck out Pilar in the 2nd inning. He gets Teoscar here in the 4th inning. The Super Slow-Mos brought to you by the Samsung S9 and the S9 Plus. The camera reimagined, available now. He was going to go, and then he wanted to stop, tried to check his swing, but it's a strikeout.
1 away. Here's Justin Smoke. First pitch changeup to Smoke. Justin grounded out to the first baseman back in the 2nd inning. 246 for the season. That's Smoke's batting average. High pop up headed toward the seats, and it'll be back out of play. Mentioned Smoke is hitting 246, and if you think that's low, think again. That is the Major League average this season. Major League batting average. The average is 246.
246
in the major leagues. That's what an average hitter is hitting this year. Curveball bounced in the dirt. 1-2. Smoke's done a nice job of getting on base. He's drawn 61 walks this season.
You think that 246 average is a byproduct of all the shifts, the bullpens, the different types of relievers, the specialists out of the bullpen?
I think there are multiple reasons for it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the shifts. As you constantly look up and there's 3 defenders set up where you hit the ball most frequently.
Now, there are hitters who you want them to swing, even though they're shifting. This is one of them right here. I would not ask Justin Smoke to try and get on base and bunt the ball. That's just not a natural thing for him. Plus, he can hit the ball out of the ballpark. So the shifts work sometimes to the advantage of the hitter. Sometimes it doesn't. I think a lot of it has to do with the specialty of the relief pitching. I was talking to Joe Mauer when we were in Minnesota, and I asked him, I said, you've been in the league now 15 years. What is the biggest difference that you see in the pitching? He says, I used to face 1, maybe 2 pitchers in a game when I first came up. Now I might face 4 different pitchers. And I've got to adjust against every pitcher that comes in. It might be a lefty specialist in the 7th. It might be a split ball type of pitcher in the 8th inning, a closer in the 9th, the starter. There's all kind of different reasons.
And that's why you'll never see anybody break Joe DiMaggio's record. 56.
56?
Yep. You'll never see anybody hitting 56 straight games. They have to deal with too many pitchers. And in DiMaggio's era, you might face a pitcher 4 times in a game, and in that 4th time, obviously, he's not going to have the same stuff he had in the first inning. But that's not the case anymore.
He might get tired in the 8th, but they're still pitching. I mean, they never used guys out of the bullpen. It was a badge of honor to throw 9 innings.
Yeah, and then the relief pitchers years ago were the guys that couldn't be starters. 3-2 to Smoke. Fights it off and stays alive.
So you think that's an unbreakable record?
Yes.
56 in a row.
Absolutely. That's the one I think is the most unbreakable. I just think hitters would have to see too many pitchers over the course of a 56-game hit streak.
2 months.
Yeah.
2 straight months.
Smoke draws another walk. 62nd walk of the season, first of the night, issued by Castro.
Beauty Tone is the official paint of the Toronto Blue Jays, only available at Home Hardware. Here's how.
I mentioned 62. Check that. It's 41 walks now for Smoke. 41 on the season. The league leader, Mike Trout, has 52 walks. One out, man at first for Kevin Pillar. Pillar struck out his first time up.
We were talking last time about Pillar using the whole field. He has this season as many hits to center field as he does to left field, spraying the ball all over the ballpark.
Austin Wynns has done a nice job handling those balls in the dirt. He's had several of them already tonight that he's been able to square up and keep their runner from advancing.
Off of breaking balls. Just can't find the release point. Good job by Wynns. Again, they voted by Baseball America the top defensive catcher in the Orioles organization the last 2 seasons. Showing you why.
Pillar hits it on the ground. Valencia, second for 1. Back to first, not in time. So they get Smoke, the lead runner. So Pilar is safe at first. Valencia got smoked with the force out at second. Now there are 2 outs. Russell Martin hit a home run back in the second on a 3-0 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Pilar watched the fly to that ball. Thought it was going to skip away from the catcher. Took an extra step towards second.
Thought about getting himself into scoring position. That was just the second hit that Russell's had in his career against Andrew Kashner, his first home run. Guys are very careful with him, and he does a great job of getting himself into good hitters count. He's in another one. 2-0.
2 outs. It's a 1-1 ball game. Astor kind of crossed up Martin, threw him a fastball right down the middle. Brooks Jacoby encourages his hitters to stay on the fastball. Don't get off of the fastball.
Be ready to hit it. That's get your front foot down. Get your hands moving, be ready to swing. He says you can adjust to the breaking ball. It's tough to do it the other way around.
You can adjust to the bad breaking ball.
Yeah.
It's hard to adjust to a good breaking ball.
To a good one.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Scope in front of the bag at second. Takes his time, and the inning is over. The Blue Jays will leave a base runner. We've played 4 innings. It's a 1-1 game. Time now for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung. The top of the 5th. Happ has allowed just 1 hit. He walked a pair in the second inning, and the Orioles scored on the air by Devin Travis, the throwing error. He threw the ball past Smoke over at first base. The only hit, Craig Gentry had a pop-up that should have been caught that fell between Kevin Pilar and Devin Travis.
The last time they had a base runner. They had him out at second base with nobody out, couldn't score.
Trey Mancini, the first baseman. Ball and a strike, the leadoff man here in the top of the 5th. Boy, don't you love Happ, the way he pitches? He just trusts that fastball. Hitting is hard. I think that's the one thing that experienced pitchers understand. Takes them a while to figure it out, but hitting is very hard.
When he was a younger pitcher, I don't think Jay understood that. And now as a veteran, I think he understands, if I keep pumping that fastball in there, you know, I'm going to get my share of outs. I watched Trey Mancini take those 2 fastballs, and he was surprised at how the ball got on him so quickly, and then Jay changes up on him and picks up the strikeout.
Strikeout number 2 for Happ as Mancini goes down with that changeup. There's the grip, and he really throws it well.
I asked him about that, excuse me, Buck, and I said, are you throwing a splitter? He says, no, I'm just splitting my fingers a little bit and throwing it like a fastball, and all it does, it takes a little something off of the pitch. And it had Mancini way out in front.
The change of pace, and that's what it does. Austin wins. Wins, we mentioned he was a 10th round draft pick of the Orioles in 2013. Grew up in San Diego, still lives in that San Diego area. Played college baseball at Fresno State.
Orioles were looking for another catcher. Caleb Joseph was here. They sent him down. They brought up Andrew Susac. He didn't do anything for him offensively. Buck Showalter looking for something. They brought up Susac, who's been in the organization for a while, and he's gotten hot.
Buck Showalter on a more production out of his catching core, and Chance Sisco is the #1 prospect. He hasn't done much with the bat yet.
Isn't that funny, those managers playing the hot hand?
Yeah, they want to win.
That's what you got to do. He said, my guy's gotten a hit on this road trip. He hit a home run last night. He's thrown out a couple of base runners.
Ground ball. Nice grab by Solarte. 2 away. Solarte is making his 31st start at third base. He's committed just 1 error at third, the only error he's made in the field. He has made 19 starts at second and 5 starts at shortstop. But for me, from what I've seen this year, third base is his best position.
He looks comfortable over there. He played that ball really well. How he got onto the side like that to get a good look at it. Made it look easy.
Craig Gentry has the only hit for the Orioles. It was a pop-up that went off the glove of Kevin Pillar. He was given credit for a hit. Kind of a Texas leaguer between the second baseman Travis and Pillar, and they kind of had a little bit of a collision, and it went off Pillar's glove and dropped for a base hit. Fastball upstairs. The starters have been on a roll. They've had 4 straight quality starts. It's the most quality starts they've had consecutively since September of 2016.
Best part about that, they're getting deeper into the ball game, making John Gibbons' job a little bit easier. He can set up his bullpen to his liking. He can get the matchups that he wants to.
Pretty good pitch right there. 3-2. Leadoff man Joey Rickard waits on deck if Gentry can reach base. Pass Solarte down the left field line. Gentry is around first. He's headed for second. Hey, Gentry now makes a big turn at second, but he stops there with a 2-out double. His second hit of the night. He has both hits. That's his third double of the season.
This one hit a little bit harder than the last one. He's also had a stolen base just out of the reach of Solarte. You were talking about the hot corner. This is why they call it the hot corner. That thing gets down there quickly. He was playing back with 2 strikes. Still can't come up with it because it hits and goes all the way to the wall.
Leadoff man Joey Rickard. Rickard has grounded out and popped out to the catcher. Had a long at bat back in the third when he popped out to Russell Martin. Fouled off several pitches, so he's seen a lot of pitches from Happ so far tonight.
Came into this game with good numbers against Jay. Jay asking the home plate umpire there if that ball was too low.
Rickard, not an everyday player. This is just another opportunity. His opportunity with a runner in scoring position. Gentry can run at second. Rickard is late on that fastball.
And on the crack of the bat, he's going to be taken off. So anything into the outfield, it's going to have to be right at one of the outfielders on a bounce or two to have any shot of getting Gentry at the plate. They've shortened up just a little bit in center and in right for Rickard. Not really known as a power hitter, a guy who can drive the ball into the gaps, so you can shorten up a little bit in the outfield. But Gentry, he's off on the crack of the bat.
Both Martin and Happ wanting that last pitch. Todd Woodring is the home plate umpire tonight. John Gibbons a little perplexed as to why that wasn't a strike. 3-1 now. Fly ball, out deep. Grichuk moving to his right, and Happ is out of it. 5 good innings for Jay Happ. He's allowed to run on 2 hits. Craig Gentry has both of those hits for the Orioles.
Fame induction ceremony weekend for Toronto Blue Jays outfielder Lloyd Moseby, Montreal Expos pitcher Pedro Martinez, and Canada's top baseball historian Bill Humber. It's going to be a great weekend. The ceremony begins at 1 o'clock with an inductee autograph session following the event. There'll be ball games, barbecues. There is a golf tournament on the Friday. Information can be found baseballhalloffame.ca. Guys?
Well, congratulations to the inductees for this year's class of the Hall of Fame, Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, June 16th. That'll take place. And Grichuk waves at that first pitch as Cashner took something off. Fastball inside. It's 1-1 to Grichuk. He grounded out third base back in the second.
Hit a couple of fastballs last night for a base hit. The big one was to right field in the ninth inning. It was a fastball up and away.
Swinging a drive. Get up, ball. Get up, ball. Get up. Get out of here. God! Randall Grichuk has broken the tie. His fourth home run, second of the night for the Blue Jays.
And that was a fastball inside. It was up and away in the ninth inning when he drove in a couple of runs to right field. Cashner tried to slip a fastball by him. Grichuk starting to come out of it just a little bit.
Brando had 3 hits in the game last night. He scored the tying run in the ninth. His 3-hit game last night was his first 3-hit game since he had 4 hits last July 26th. And he jumps all over this inside pitch.
Staying quick to the ball. They've been trying to, again, watch the hand. See how the hand stayed in between his body and the baseball. He didn't go around that ball. He stayed inside it. That's what he's been working with Brooke Jacoby down in that batting cage. Perfect example of staying inside the ball and then keeping the ball fair down the left field line. That's a thing of beauty. Gives the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead.
Three and 1 to the Blue Jays shortstop, Aledmys Diaz. He singled his first time up. Just foul outside the bag at third base. Well, the Blue Jays have 2 runs on 5 hits. Russell Martin with a solo shot in the second, and Grichuk with a leadoff home run here in the 5th. Another hit for Diaz. He jumped all over that high fastball.
At the Honda checkered flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Aledmys Diaz has been swinging the bat with authority since he has come off the disabled list. How about him getting to that high fastball? Up and in. Stayed short to the baseball.
4 straight hits now for Diaz. He had a double in the 9th, a game-winning single in the 10th, and he's singled twice tonight. Devin Travis singled to center his last time up. Blue Jays now with 6 hits.
They gave their manager an early birthday present last night with a big win, and now they've given him the lead on his birthday.
Travis takes the strike. John Gibbons, 56 years old today. Happy birthday, Gibby.
Now get him a win. Nothing like winning on your birthday.
Inside, 1-1. The Blue Jays try to hit and run with this combination back in the 3rd inning, and it didn't work. Travis couldn't connect on an outside pitch, and Austin wins throughout Diaz by a mile.
The universal sign to throw over. Catcher pumping his thumb like that and then setting up outside. He's getting his instruction from the bench what they want to do.
That flip of the thumb used to be the universal sign for knocking the hitter down.
Baseball's changing. Doesn't happen anymore.
That was the old flip 'em.
Yep.
And Buck Showalter started as a player in the minor leagues. You'd see that flip of the thumb. That meant knock the hitter down. Doesn't happen anymore. 2-1 to Travis. Out in front of that off-speed pitch. Now it's 2-2.
Got to stay on the ball just a little bit. He's pulling off the ball ever so slightly. His power and his game is right center field. So if he stays on the ball just a little bit longer, he's going to hit that ball in the gap.
Fly ball into shallow center. Jones has it measured and makes the catch. Diaz back to first.
It's a good sign.
Pritchett has given the Blue Jays the lead with his home run, his 4th of the season.
It's a good sign that he's starting to come out of it.
Leadoff man Curtis Granderson 1 for 2. The appeal down to third as Lance Barksdale said he went too far. Granderson tried to bunt back in the 3rd inning and bunted it right out in front of home. Catcher Austin Wynns threw to second to force Devin Travis at second base. It was the same defensive alignment that Granderson's facing right now. Scope, the second baseman, in his regular position. Valencia is the third baseman. He's out in right field.
And look at that room on the left side if he chooses to. He tried to, like you said last time, and it didn't work, so I don't expect him to try it again.
Was it hard for you to hit the ball away from your power side?
Like if they pitched me away, was it? I preferred it.
You could hit the ball away.
I could hit the ball away. Hitters are different now. I mean, they're looking for something that they can get up into the air for extra bases.
Granderson shows bunt again. 3 balls and a strike.
Manny Machado is now trying to get some direction from the bench. Do you want me to play in there? Do you want me to take that away from him? Or should I play my normal depth? He's back now.
Three and 1. Fouled straight back. When you ask hitters, and we do this, I know you and I both have talked to a lot of hitters about, well, why don't you go the other way? And most of the time the response is, it's not that easy. And I think that there's a combination of factors that go into it. Velocity's one. But I think more than anything, people are just stuck one way.
Well, the Blue Jays practice it every day in batting practice. Their first round is up the middle or the other way. Trying to drive the ball. Let your hands get a little bit slow and barrel it up, try to hit the other way. And then they work on getting the ball in the air. Then they work on keeping the ball on the ground. And it's possible.
3 and 2. Not running. Cut on and missed as Granderson strikes out. Just the 3rd strikeout of the night for Cashner. But it's the 2nd out of this bottom of the 5th inning.
Looks like he took a little something off on that pitch after feeding fastball. That's a changeup. Curtis can't come up with it. Singled his first time up. He is out on a fielder's choice and now a strikeout.
And Hervis Solarte pops up the first pitch. Shallow center field. Jones, the center fielder, calls for it and makes the catch. But the Blue Jays take the lead. Randall Grichuk had 3 hits in last night's game. His first hit tonight to lead off home run in the 5th. His 4th home run of the season, and gives the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead.
A lot. In his mind, in some ways for the better, in others, not so much. He calls the new shot clock hilarious. Jones's point there, you're forcing us to do something in your timely manner, not our timely manner. And Jones says we're artists. You can't tell us how and how fast we need to do something. That's not how we're built. Jones is also not a fan of the slide rule in his second base. Now, Adam came to the Orioles in the old school era. That's changed. He says people around the game aren't as thick-skinned as they used to be. But Jones says the young players in the game now, today, he's never seen a group, 25 and underage guys, better or more athletic, Buck, than they are now.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Adam Jones is a real student of the game. He understands the game, how it's played, and how the good players play it. But he's right about the young, athletic, multi-talented young players, and the American League is loaded with it right now.
They're everywhere in all high-skill positions, like the Carlos Correa in Houston, one of the best young players in all of baseball.
Lindor and Ramirez in Cleveland. The young Dodger players. There are good players everywhere, and a lot of good young players, 23, 24, 25 years old.
They get them to the big leagues quickly. How about the Atlanta Braves with Acuna and Ozzie Albies?
21 and 20 years old, respectively. But you look at the young guns in the American League, and this is what Adam Jones was talking about.
Talented, young but talented players. They're all 25 and under. Mookie Betts, look at that OPS. Jose Ramirez, one of the most underrated players, I think, in the American League. Of course, Manny Machado, he's just a superstar, and Andrew Benintendi getting there too.
Jones gets jammed and hits a lazy fly ball to left field. One away, and here is one of those young guns, Manny Machado. He'll turn 26 in July. Going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and he is the prize player in my mind. I think because he plays a premium position, but you know, he says he wants to play shortstop, and we've seen him play third base a lot. We've seen him play shortstop now for basically half a season. I don't know about you. I think he's a much better third baseman than he is a shortstop.
I think he's a really good shortstop. I think he's a great third baseman. And, you know, wherever he wants to play, if I'm penciling in the lineup, Manny, where do you want to play? Whatever, you know, suits you. But I think he's a great third baseman because his reactions, he's so quick and he's got that great arm.
Off speed pitch, hits it off the end of the mat. Long run for Grichuk. Oh, what a nice play. Randall Grichuk lays out, and it's a fair ball. But he has shown outstanding defensive skills all season long.
Yeah, he was in center field yesterday when Kevin Pillar had the day off and was flawless out there. Watch how far he has to go. He's playing in the gap, respecting the power of Manny Machado, and he goes a long way to snag it. You know who really appreciates that? Jay Happ. He doesn't have to face Manny Machado now. Gets him out on one pitch. There you go.
So now Danny Valencia. He has scored the only Oriole run tonight, scored on an error by Devin Travis. Jay Happ looking for his 100th career wins. Chopped off home plate. Happ making his second attempt to win number 100. In his last start in Detroit, his parents were there. His father-in-law was there. I met his father-in-law and saw his parents, and they were there anticipating he was going to win his 100th game. Ball on the strike. Valencia breaks his bat. Another nice grab by Solarte. Boy, he can pick it at third. The defense has really supported Jay Happ. It takes him just 9 pitches to retire the side in order, helped by a nice play in right by Randall Grichuk. Authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. A beautiful night at the ballpark, and the Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead as they're set to bat in the bottom of the 6th. Jay Happ and Andrew Kashner matched up in a pretty good pitcher's duel. Teoscar Hernandez is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Changeup pulled foul. Kashner spent parts of 2 seasons with the Cubs, 2010, 2011, pitching out of the bullpen. Then he went to San Diego for 5 years and became a starter. He had a 28-43 record pitching with the Padres, but a pretty good ERA. Lined pass, scope into center field. A hot shot off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez. A leadoff single is checking with Jamie Campbell. Marco Gonzalez, the starter for Seattle, has allowed just 2 hits over 4 innings, hasn't walked a batter and struck out 2. Gene Segura with another hit tonight. He's hitting .341. The Mariners shortstop. They got a good team.
They have a resilient team. They had all kind of injuries in spring training. They got the news about Cano, who's going to be suspended for 80 games. They had some injuries at the beginning of the season, but they just seem to just come and just play baseball, and they're winning.
Seattle has the third best team batting average in the American League, hitting .257 as a team.
They needed some reinforcements, and they pulled the trigger early, didn't they, on that trade with Tampa Bay?
Alex Colomé, their closer. He is not closing for Seattle, but he certainly adds to the depth in the back end of their bullpen. Justin Smoke with a 1-1 count. Pops straight back in our direction. I tell you what I really like about Seattle. I like their manager, Scott Service. I think he is a modern day manager that has a little bit of old school and a lot of analytics.
He's a lot like A.J. Hinch, isn't he?
Yeah.
From Houston.
It's a nice combination. He relates to his players very well, and he has high expectations, and he explains to each player what those expectations are. Smoke foul chips it, hung on to by the catcher. Another strikeout for Cashner, his fourth. One down now. Kevin Pillar will step in the box. Kevin is 0 for 2. Blue Jays won 5-4 last night in 10 innings, their second straight extra inning game. They lost to the Yankees on Wednesday night in 13 innings. Yankees scored 3 in the top of the 13th, won 3-0. Randall Grichuk with the go-ahead home run in the 5th.
He looks like he wants to run, doesn't he? Hernandez is getting out there, and Cashner, I think, has picked up on that. He's thrown over a couple of times. When you see that, when you see him thinking about that, the opposition and throwing over there, that's when the manager might throw the stop sign on.
Not running. Pillar takes the strike. 1-1. Austin wins the Oriole catcher threw out Aledmus Diaz on a foiled hit and run attempt back in the 3rd inning. Pillar, broken bat, little looper. Machado can't make the play. It's a base hit for Pillar. Hernandez moves into second. Drive of the game brought to you by the Honda Checkered Flag event. Check out their all-star lineup.
First time up for Russell Martin in the second inning. 3-0. He works the count and then does this. Hits the ball out of the ballpark. That's the 4th home run by the Blue Jays this season on a 3-0 count. And Russell Martin says, "You're going to give me a fastball? I'm going to take advantage of it." That's tonight's drive of the game.
Second time Russell has gone deep on a 3-0 pitch. Over number 6 for Russell. RBI number 15. Now he's got a runner in scoring position. 2 on and 1 out for Martin. Inside for ball 1. Way outside. Both bullpens are quiet. Cashner has now thrown 87 pitches. but he's got a lot left. His season high 114 pitches came against the A's out in Oakland back on the 4th of May. Ground ball. Valencia can't make the play. Hernandez coming around third. Here's the throw from Rickard. It's cut off. Pilar is out at second. Kevin Pilar roamed too far off the bag. Machado cut it off and threw to second. And they get Pilar, but Martin picks up his second RBI of the ball game as Teoscar Hernandez comes in to score.
Remember the last time Russell was up 2-0, he threw him a fastball right down the middle, and he took it, and he seemed to be surprised just a little bit. Same situation. I think Russell remembers that 2-0 fastball. He gets another one, rips it into left field. He's going to score Hernandez. Pilar was thinking about going first or third on the throw home, but the left fielder Rickard does a good job of hitting the cutoff man. Manny Machado is going to be that cutoff man. Puts his glove up, hits the cutoff man, and look at the athleticism by Machado. Off his back foot, throws a strike to get Pilar.
Here's Randall Grichuk. Takes one away for ball one. So the Blue Jays now with a 3-1 lead. Martin has driven in two. Grichuk has driven in the third. Bottom of the order getting it done for the Blue Jays. They've accounted for 6 of the 9 hits. Martin with a pair of hits. Grichuk with the home run. Diaz has a pair of singles, and Travis has a single.
That's a good sign. See Russell Martin come out of it with that home run. All it takes is a couple of hits, and all of a sudden the good feelings start to come back.
Grichuk checks his swing, and the ball is behind the catcher. He didn't see it. He was asking for the appeal to the third base umpire, and he didn't have the ball in his glove. But Martin didn't pick up on it until way too late. Way outside now, 3-1 to Grichuk. Orioles bullpen Tanner Scott, 23-year-old hard-throwing left-hander, one of 2 lefties they have down in their pen. Grichuk with the count in his favor, 3-1. Orioles trail 3-1. Good take. Kashner can't believe that's a ball. He said that's not off the plate. Getting into it with the home plate umpire, Tom Woodrick. Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, going out to the mound. A couple of pitches in this at bat Kashner thought were strikes.
Yeah, everybody in the ballpark thought it was too. I think Roger McDowell's out there just to calm down his starter, saying that's not off the plate. Let's see from overhead. That catches plenty of the plate.
Yeah, the whole ball was on the plate. And Roger McDowell out to talk to Kashner. And McDowell's going to wait for the umpire to come out to the mound. He might have something to say. And nope, he turns and heads for the dugout. But Kashner's a veteran. He has to understand now. You got to refocus and try to retire Diaz. He hasn't done that tonight. Aledmus Diaz has 4 straight hits going back to his last 2 at-bats last night. A run in here in the 6th. Blue Jays with 9 hits and 12 hits last night.
Yeah, they've only left 3 base runners tonight. They've come up with some clutch hits.
Ground ball. Tricky hop as Machado flips to second to get the force out that ends the inning. But the Blue Jays get another run, an RBI single by Russell Martin. They've taken a 3-1 lead as we head to the 7th. Stats over the last 4 starts: a 108 earned run average. Opponents have hit 172, whip under 1, and they've allowed just 1 home run.
This is what everybody was expecting, I think, when the season started. The starters carrying this ball club. You're going to win a lot of games when you get this type of pitching. And they've pitched deep into the ball game, just like Jay Happ now as he gets ready for the 7th inning. Pitching deep into the ball game, taking some of the pressure off of that bullpen. Jay has only had 2 strikeouts tonight, but he's going to work into the 7th inning.
Jonathan Scope has flied out twice. Scope leading off the 7th. Pops it up. This is playable. Smoke over into foul territory. Makes the catch, 1 away.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera we imagine. Available now.
Shenwan Oh loosening up for the Blue Jays as Happ has thrown 95 pitches, getting near the end of the line. Jays' highest pitch count came in his last start. 106 pitches over just 5 innings.
He hasn't lost anything as he gets closer to those 100 pitches.
Actually, he threw 108 pitches earlier down in St. Pete against Tampa Bay. 108 pitches over 5 2/3.
That fastball, you got some pop on it. The last one was 92. It was crisp right where you needed it. That one had a little cut to it. Trumbo came up empty.
Trumbo has walked and tapped back to the mound. Another high fastball. Boy, oh boy, that extra run certainly a cushion for Jay Happ. So you can be ultra aggressive here, even though you've got a power hitter at the plate in Mark Trumbo. If he goes deep, still got a 1-run lead.
Just gives you that confidence to take that mound and stay aggressive. A little bit higher this time.
And he chases.
It's a great night to be a pitcher. It's not hot. It's cool. You can still work up a nice little lather, but you feel fresh. Even though your next pitch is going to be number 100, you still feel really fresh.
Breaking ball, and Trumbo lays off.
And he looks fresh to me.
Yeah, he's got a lot of life on his fastball.
He hasn't lost anything.
cutter for the strikeout. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. White Sox really having a heck of a game against Chris Sale. Sale has 9 strikeouts over 7 innings, but he's trailing 1-0.
Who's matching him for the White Sox? Who is that?
Dylan Covey started. Now he's out of the ball game. Jace Fry is into the game, a left-hander. But there are a lot of new names in that White Sox lineup. The outfield, 7, 8, 9 in the outfield. Tristan Thompson, Palka, and Tilson, 3 newcomers.
Yeah. The only one I know is Trace Thompson. The other guys, I wasn't sure who they were.
Daniel Palka is playing in right. And Charles Tilson is starting in left. Trey Mancini behind 0-2. Line drive to right at Grichuk. He makes a nice catch. Jay Happ, another 7-inning outing for Happ, but he walks off the mound with a 3-1 lead. $95 pitches over 6 innings. He allowed 3 earned runs. 2 of those were solo home runs. One by Russell Martin in the second, and one by Randall Grichuk in the 5th. Home run still a problem for Andrew Cashner.
Yeah, home runs for the starters also for the Baltimore Orioles. So he is out of the game. This is Tanner Scott. 12 games. No record, earned run average close to 5, but what an arm this guy possesses. His fastball has been known to reach 100 miles an hour. Hard fastball, hard slider. You can see he's averaging 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, just 6 walks and 21 strikeouts this season. He will face Travis, Granderson, and Solarte as Morales has come out on deck. But Tanner Scott, not a real big guy, but he's got a big arm.
First pitch fastball in there for strike 1. Travis is 1 for 2. He's behind 0-2 quickly. This is the first time the Blue Jays have faced Tanner Scott.
Good arm, good breaking ball. That last pitch was 98 miles an hour. He's got excellent command. You don't see too many lefties coming out of the bullpen throwing this hard. I mean, there are the share. Aroldis Chapman comes to mind.
Fastball 100 miles an hour. Jay Happ, another terrific outing for Happ. Congratulates his battery mate. 1 run on 2 hits over 7 innings. And that's the kind of season he has had. He's in line for his 100th career win.
He's retired 15 out of the last 16 batters. So Jay's getting stronger as the night's going on, but it looks like he's finished.
Yeah, the only man to reach during that stretch was Craig Gentry, who had that 2-out double in the 5th, but he was stranded at 2nd. Travis called out on strikes. A high breaking ball catches the inside corner, 1 away.
It's time to fire up your senses. Your best experience begins with Broil King. Available at your local home hardware. Here's how.
Kendrys Morales will pinch hit for Curtis Granderson. Granderson was the DH tonight. Morales pinch hitting. Kendrys is 1 for 7 as a pinch hitter. Goes after that first pitch, another 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Who are some other lefties that came out of the pen? Billy Wagner comes to mind.
Dan Plesac.
Did he throw this hard?
Yeah,
I know he had a great slider.
He threw 97, 98.
Really?
Yeah, when he was with Milwaukee early in his career. Matt Thornton.
Matt Thornton. There's another one.
Terry Forster in my day. He was the guy. He threw hard, threw a nasty slider, and threw in the upper 90s.
Bullpen guys,
Yeah.
lefties that would come out and just blow it.
Then there were the lefty specialists. B.J. Ryan threw hard. He had a slider, but guys like Jesse Orozco, they were more breaking ball guys.
John Franco, closers.
Scott Downs, who had a long career, pitched for the Blue Jays. He wasn't a hard thrower. But this is a special arm the Orioles have. Hit hard, but right into the shift. That's Scope, the second baseman. 2 outs.
Not bad for a 6th-round draft pick out of Howard Junior College in Texas. Sorry to say, I've never heard of Howard Junior College.
Well, you should know him. He's from Ohio.
Who?
Tanner Scott.
I didn't know that.
Well, you're going to find out about him now because you know he throws 100.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on this guy.
Solarte goes after the first pitch. Aaron Lopez joined down in the bullpen. Off speed pitch pulled foul.
He was signed. I told you he was a 6th-round draft pick in 2014. He signed for $650,000 because of that arm.
There's a base hit poked into right field by Solarte. His first knock of the evening. A 2-out single here in the 7th. Cut down your swing, go the opposite way. It can be done.
Yeah, we've watched it the last couple of nights now for the Blue Jays with 2 strikes. Urshela had a hit to right field. Grichuk had a hit to right field with 2 strikes. Now Solarte is going to go the opposite way with 2 strikes. Plate coverage, make sure you get something on the bat. You get it into the field, get it into the outfield, just make contact. Good things can happen.
I think this is a pretty good matchup for Teoscar Hernandez, even though Scott throws 100. I think he can get on that fastball.
I want to see him, Teoscar, get into a fastball count and get a fastball.
Swing and a drive deep to right. Get up, ball. Get up. Get up and over the head of Gentry. Here comes Solarte around third. Hernandez headed for third, and he'll slide in safely with his 5th triple of the season.
Where the Blue Jays hit last year, all of last year, something like 4 or 5 triples. He's got 5 all by himself. He did get the fastball, and I'll tell you what, he can turn anybody's fastball around. Gentry with the valiant effort in right field. But Teoscar hits that ball hard. Watch him go down and get this ball and drive it the other way. Ball's going to have to be backed up by Adam Jones, and the Orioles going after that relay. The throw is a little bit off target. That allows him to slide in safely, and the Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead.
Hernandez with yet another extra base hit, his 5th triple. He's got 14 doubles and 9 home runs. Roger McDowell out to talk to the young lefty. But I thought it was a good matchup, fastball hitter and a guy that throws 100. He was able to get on that fastball. Big Mike Wright starting to loosen up for the Orioles. A 2-out triple for Hernandez, and Jay Happ is in line for his 100th career win. It would be his 8th win of the season. Luis Severino and Corey Kluber lead the American League. They are tied with 9 wins. Rick Porcello of the Red Sox has 8 wins. Happ is tied with 9 other pitchers with 7 wins. Justin Smoke is 0 for 2 with a walk. It's a good slider.
Got to gear up for that fastball because you have to respect it. Blue Jays are getting their first look at this young left-hander.
Another slider, and Smokes strikes out, but Teoscar Hernandez drives in a big run. His 5th triple of the season comes with 2 outs and gives the Blue Jays a 4-1 lead. with another 7-inning outing. A very strong performance against the Orioles. He allowed a run on 2 hits. An unearned run. Walked 2, struck out 3. And Jay Happ is in line for his 8th win of the season.
Second time this year that he's had a start where he did not give up an earned run. The other one was at New York when he had 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, no earned runs against the Mets. He also had 3 hits or reached base 3 times in that game. Sungwon Oh will take over for the 29th time this season. Oh was 1-2. Opponents hitting just .239 against Oh, just 9 walks, so he's going to be around the plate.
Pinch hitter for the Orioles, Chance Sisco, the catcher. He's batting for Austin Wynns. Sisco's first appearance in this series. Wynns finished up 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. In the air, not deep. Kritchik moving to his right. Makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down here in the 8th. We mentioned Happ going 7 innings. The Blue Jays starters have pitched 7 or more innings 10 times this year. Jay Happ has done it 5 times. He has been the most consistent starter. And another good performance tonight. Early in the game, he had a couple of walks in the second. That's when the Orioles scored their only run. At leadoff walk to Danny Valencia. Valencia came around to score on the throwing error by Devin Travis.
But you love to see starters then get on a roll and get stronger as the game goes along. And that's exactly what Jay did to finish up very strong. His only base runner from the 3rd inning to the 7th inning was that double by Gentry in the 5th.
Found 15 of the last 16 he faced. Tepera has joined Aaron Loup. Loup was up earlier in the game. Breaking ball bounced in the dirt. Craig Gentry has had both of the Oriole hits. The first hit was a pop-up that had a perfect angle. This is going to be another hit. Gentry with 3 hits. All 3 hits for the Orioles off the bat of the number 9 hitter.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
Blue Jays trying to make it 2 in a row over the Baltimore Orioles. Joey Rickard, the leadoff man, 0 for 3 so far tonight. The Blue Jays have 11 hits. They had 12 hits last night. It's the first time they've had double-digit hits in back-to-back games since April 30th and May 1st.
Trying to win back-to-back games.
High pop-up. Solarte into foul territory. Waits there, and Rickard's retired. 2 away.
It's been a while since they've won back-to-back games.
That's the last time they've won back-to-back games. April 30th and May 1st. But the starting pitching, John Gibbons' starters have had 5 straight quality starts. 1 time through the rotation.
They are hoping to get that a little bit more consistently. Maybe they've turned the corner.
Two outs. Adam Jones. He has flied out 3 times. And O delivers a strike. Jones is 0 for 8 in the series. And he's got a hit now. Hernandez cuts it off. He'll hustle it back to the infield to keep Jones to a long single. And Gentry may have hurt himself. Came around third and put the brakes on. And you can see he's getting up kind of gingerly at third base. He was thinking about scoring. Hernandez saved a run, and here comes John Gibbons.
Here's what you're talking about. He's thinking about scoring on that long single, and when he had to put the brakes on, he felt something. I don't know if that's a knee or a hamstring or what. But he felt it. O is out. Looks like Tepera is going to come in.
Game in the 8th inning. 2 strong innings for Tepera, and he's got a jam right here, and he's facing one of the toughest hitters in all of baseball in Manny Machado.
After a couple of hits by Gentry and Jones, the tying run's going to stroll the plate, none other than Manny Machado. Tepera's been great. You mentioned those 2 innings against the Yankees, just 1 hit given up. Took him 28 pitches. John Gibbons wants a little bit better breaking ball against Manny Machado.
Machado is 4 for 5 against Ryan Tepera with a home run. First pitch strike and a beauty. 18 homers for Machado on the season. Drove in his 50th run last night. He's 0 for 3. Bounce off the plate. Diaz has to hurry in time. Machado's retired, and Tepera strands a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio. community partners. Heck of a ball game on Pride Night here at Rogers Center. A 4-1 Blue Jays lead as they're set to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. Orioles have a run on just 4 hits. Big Mike Wright Jr. makes his 15th appearance of the season. It's been a bit of a struggle for him this year. The league is hitting .305 against the big right-hander.
2 of those outings were starts for the Orioles. 16 walks, 36 hits in just 29 2/3 innings as Chance Sisco has taken over at catcher after pinch hitting. Buck Showalter needs at least an inning from Wright.
Kevin Pillar is 1 for 3. Got a base hit to left field his last time up. Doing a nice job by Ryan Tepera. Runners at the corners and 2 outs. He got Machado to bounce out to the shortstop. Two and one now.
That's where teams have been pitching Kevin Pillar lately, inside. They really tried to pound him inside in the last 4 or 5 weeks. The way to get him out of there, start turning on that pitch.
He did, and just missed an extra base hit.
That one was close. He got his hands through quickly on that inside fastball.
Missed a double by a matter of inches. Stays on that slider and stays alive. Buck Showalter talking with the pitching coach Roger McDowell. Wright looks like he's got good stuff, but he's never been able to put it all together either as a reliever or as a starter.
Sinker slider combo as a starter. He can cut the ball a little bit. Changeup a little bit above average with his changeup. He's got the height, the build, the mechanics, everything you need from a good starter. He stands 6'6", 215 pounds.
Good job by Pillar to spoil a pretty good slider. Wright's got all 4 pitches. His background is as a starter. His average fastball 92. Pillar fouls back that fastball. That one was 95.
They will spot start him certain times. He can be a long man out of their bullpen if they need him. He throws strikes, not afraid of contact.
Swing and a drive. Get up, ball. Get up and God! Kevin Pillar jumped all over that fastball. 3rd homer of the night for the Blue Jays.
Mentioned teams have been pounding him in over the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's hit under 100 on those inside pitches. The best way to get him out of there, do exactly what he just did. He just missed a double a few pitches before down the left field line. He'll settle for that home run. That's how you turn on an inside pitch. Shorten it up, shorten up the swing, make sure you get the barrel of the bat through. Blue Jays now lead it 5-1. They've scored in the last 4 innings at least 1 run.
2nd home run for Pillar in the last 4 days. Had a home run Tuesday against the Yankees.
Didn't play in yesterday's game, had the day off, came back in though as a defensive replacement late. Got an RBI single. Now he's got an RBI on a home run. Watch the barrel of the bat stay true and through. And when you hit them like that, you can get into your home run trot quickly because you know that one's not coming back.
Right, drops that curveball in there. Boy, that's a terrific sound coming off the bat of Kevin Pillar. That's what you call barreling it up. One and two to Martin. Oh, he got a hanger. He was all over that pitch. You can see his disappointment.
His disappointment and the pitcher's disappointment. You see Mike Wright turn his back to the batter and say, oh, I got away with one. There's a hanging breaking ball. Russell sees it, his eyes light up, and he just misses it.
Blue Jays with 3 home runs in this ball game. First time they've hit 3 home runs in a game since May 16th at the Mets. "12 hits for a second straight night. Cutter off the plate. Full count. Randal Grichuk has homered tonight. Ball 4. Grichuk's had quite a night both at the plate and in the field.
You mentioned the home run. I'm going to show you some defense. Manny Machado is at the plate, and Jay Happ loves what he sees right there. Look at the distance covered, 91 feet by Grichuk to take that ball away from Machado. I also have him down for a really nice play. Last inning, the Machado play and the Mancini play, the line drive to end the 7th inning. It was a low liner to right field, got a good break on and ended that inning.
He has homered and walked in his last 2 plate appearances. He's 1 for 2. He's quickly behind 0-2. Off the plate. There's Joe Siddle in the update talk about the fact that Randal Grichuk hasn't struck out a lot since he's come back off the disabled list. He's more upright at the plate. And a better look at the pitches. Gets a piece of that one to stay alive.
Got a better swing plane, I think. Remember what teams were trying to do to him before he got hurt? They were elevating the fastball. He just couldn't catch up to it. Change the swing plane just a little bit, shorten it up, and it's been getting to it. Three multi-hit games in his last 6 games.
That one got away from right. Cisco, a nice job of making a stab at that. Coming into this game, this is the 6th game that Grichuk has played since coming off the DL. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He has just 1 strikeout in 18 at bats since coming off the DL. High fly ball in the air. Gentry over near the foul line. The right fielder makes the catch. Fair territory. Take a look at the schedule ahead. There are 2 more games left with the Orioles over the weekend, and the Blue Jays will go down to St. Pete and take on the Rays for a 3-game series. Then the off day, and then the Washington Nationals. Bryce Harper. Washington had a little bit of a scare tonight, and they're not sure what it is, but Steven Strasburg left that ball game in the 2nd inning with an injury.
Never
But
want to
it
see
looks
that.
like Max Scherzer will pitch in that Nationals series. Base hit for Diaz. His third of the night. Martin around third. He's going to be stopped there as Diaz coasts into second with a double. He's 3 for 4.
The bottom of the lineup getting it done for the Blue Jays tonight. Home run by Pilar to lead off the inning, then a walk, fly out, and Diaz, he's not wasting any time. He picks on a breaking ball and rips it right by the third baseman, Valencia. Rickard had some trouble digging this ball out of the corner. As Diaz turns on it, that's 5 hits now in the last 2 days.
5 for his last 6. He sends Russell Martin to third base. Diaz average up to 233. Devin Travis with the infield drawn in. Travis is 1 for 3. Off the end of the bat, Martin holds at third. Scope is there, and Travis is retired.
Blue Jays play and make the ball go through with the infield in, so Russell can advance. Blue Jays 5-1 lead here in the 8th inning. Looks like John Gibbons has a chance to get a win on his birthday.
And it would be the first time the Blue Jays have won back-to-back games since April 30th and May 1st. They did not have consecutive wins in the entire month of May. Kendrys Morales batting for a second time. Morales grounded out as a pinch hitter in the 7th. Was against Tanner Scott, the young lefty. .95 with a little late movement off the end of the bat. Foul chipped into the catcher's mitt. Pedro Araujo loosening up for the Orioles. Oh, 0-2 to Morales. Fouled off the catcher's mask. Brian Tepera got a big out to end the top of the 8th. He got Manny Machado to bounce out to the shortstop with men at first and third. The Blue Jays come up with a big run here in the bottom of the 8th.
And because that was a save, a tying run was at the plate of Manny Machado, this is a save opportunity for Tepera, even though the Blue Jays have scored a run here. Trying to add on for some more runs.
Line foul on the left field line. Tepera trying to stay loose. It is a cool night now. They faced just the one batter in the 8th, got him out.
In a long inning. 31 pitches this next pitch for Mike Wright here. So Ryan is up trying to stay loose. .13 hits for the Blue Jays, the most hits they've had in a game since
the 16th of May at Citi Field on that Wednesday afternoon. Had 15 hits. Chopped off home plate. Mancini waits for it. He'll go to the bag, and that'll end the inning. But the Blue Jays come up with their third home run of the night. Kevin Pillar off Mike Wright Jr. hits a low laser into the bullpen in left. Home run number 6 for Pillar, and the Blue Jays have a 5-1 lead as we head to the ninth.
Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
Blue Jays trying to make it 2 in a row to open up this 4-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. They'll take a 5-1 lead into the ninth. Ten runs on 25 hits for the Blue Jays in the first 2 games. Offense starting to click a little bit.
Their approach has been good at the plate, and if you have a good approach, good things are going to happen. Flexing some muscles tonight, showing their power.
For the Orioles, it'll be Valencia, Scope, and Trumbo. 4, 5, and 6 in the Orioles order. Josh Donaldson trying to stay sharp, work on his timing a little bit.
Hit sunflower seeds.
If you can hit sunflower seeds, you can hit anything. Josh is working awfully hard. He told us today he was running on the anti-gravity treadmill, trying to get closer and closer to playing. He's taken a lot of ground balls and taken a lot of swings lately, but he hasn't run on the field.
Yeah, and he says as soon as I can do that, run the bases and sprint and not feel anything in my calf, I'm going to be coming off the disabled list. Today was the first day, Buck, his chance to get off the DL.
They got a shot at Valencia, and they get him. Teoscar Hernandez. Another terrific throw for Teoscar.
Tell you what, his arm is good and it's accurate. I've watched him tonight throw about 3 or 4 balls back into the infield, and they're accurate with a little something on it. Danny Valencia says he missed the tag, and they want to take a look at it. This should be a really good angle as he rips the ball into the outfield. Hernandez gets over, backhands it. Watch the accurate throw. Does he make the tag, the swipe tag? Yeah, he missed him. He missed him on that first one. If he gets that lead foot, he's out, but I think he tagged him on his back leg.
He swipes at Valencia there and missed him. And then when he tags him on the back of the leg, it looks like it's too late.
The best thing you can do as an infielder is catch the ball, put your glove right in front of the bag. Don't swipe, just put it right down on the bag, because that's where the foot's coming. He'll slide right into your foot, or the foot right into your hand. Turn your glove to the back side, let him slide right into the leather. I think he's going to be safe.
And Devin did that on a steal attempt a couple games ago, where he put the tag right down on the base and the base runner slid right into it. The umpires, Ted Barrett on the left, he's the crew chief. He made the call, and Lance Barksdale is the next senior umpire on this crew. He's at third base, taking a long time.
Catch it, put the glove in front of the bag. He'll slide right into it. Nifty little slide by Valencia to take his foot out of the way and then catch the inside part of that base. Buck Showalter's group does a really good job. He doesn't challenge very often. What he does, he's got a pretty good record.
The call on the field is that Valencia is out. So there has to be clear and convincing evidence that the call on the field was incorrect. And it seems as though the longer this takes, the more it goes in the Blue Jays' favor. Danny Valencia hustling into second. Strong throw from Hernandez.
Strong and accurate. He's got 3 outfield assists. If this stands, that would be number 4.
Yeah, his previous outfield assists have all been from right field. This would be his first assist from left when they uphold the call. And we told you it has to be clear and convincing evidence that the call on the field was incorrect in Danny Valencia. He got a little beef with Ted Barrett. So Teoscar gets another outfield assist. He's got 4 for the season. Valencia is called out. So the call on the field stands.
He was feeling pretty confident that he was right. So was Danny Valencia. But you're right, the longer it takes, the more advantageous it was for the Blue Jays.
And the call on the field stands, and now they're 1 out. Jonathan Scope. Pulled foul, first pitch breaking ball. Valencia, and you can understand he's got a beef. Because when Travis went to tag him, he missed the tag initially. Popped up. Martin flips the mask off in foul ground. Scopes retired. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Nicky Reyes and Ben Ennis. Thank you very much, Ben. That's coming up right after this ball game, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Trumbo high in the air. This should do it. Grichuk coming in. Pilar calls for it. Center fielder makes the catch, and that's the ball game. Jay Happ, his 8th win of the season, career win number 100 for the Blue Jays lefty. And the Blue Jays have taken the first 2 games of this 4-game series.
Jay gave him 7 innings tonight, just 2 hits. No earned runs, and then the Blue Jays on the offensive side, home runs, Martin, Grichuk, Pilar. That's all they needed tonight. Great pitching, very good defense, and some power. Blue Jays have won the first 2 games in this series.
Jay Happ improves to 8-3 on the season. His ERA down to 3.71. 2 in a row for the Blue Jays. First time since the 1st of May. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central.